Hey, my name's Dave Gleason. I'm head coach at Athletic Revolution in Pembroke, Massachusetts, and today I want to talk to you about youth fitness. Youth athletic development, youth sports performance really comes under, I think, in today's world, under the realm of youth fitness in general, because that's kind of what parents and the general public thinks of is youth fitness kind of envelops all of those things, all those terms. A very good friend of mine who has two athletes that come to our programs here asked recently through an email to me, what is at the core, or what's the foundation of a young athlete? Is it what is being taught by their coach or coaches? And I took a little bit of time to respond, and I asked her if it was okay if I responded through video, so I could get it out on YouTube so more people could hear it, and she said that would be fine. So, thank you for that question. I love stuff like this because I love to talk about this. The core of any young athlete, and when I start to think about coaching and how, if I could be honored enough to be at the foundation of a young athlete's success, that would be something else. I think what we need to think about there is, if that is true, if we take that statement as true, what a coach says to a young athlete ends up being the core of who they are as an athlete, there's an element of education there. That worries me because there's still a lot of misinformation out there on how to deal with athletes. I still hear coaches telling young athletes not to take a drop step or a plyo step before they take off to accelerate. We know that that's not only necessary, but it's crucial to accelerate quickly, especially out of a split stance or a standstill. We see things like that all the time. I keep hearing about the knees should never be inside of the feet when changing or teaching change of direction. It's just not true. If you really analyze the way that human beings move, when they change direction, those knees are definitely inside of the feet. So anyway, we could go on and on and on about that. My point is the education of young athletes and what our role is with that. When I consult other fitness trainers and other professionals, a lot of times our conversation goes beyond the X's and O's in terms of what you should have your athletes doing, how you should be testing them and assessing them, what different activities would work in certain situations, so forth and so on. It quickly moves to what type of environment are we providing for our young athletes. I truly believe that what our job is to provide an atmosphere, an environment where our young athletes can teach themselves. Now, are there going to be certain coaching moments where you need to correct some technique or a movement pattern that's incorrect? Absolutely. When we talk about the skill involved with any sport, whether it be soccer, basketball, lacrosse, there are certain skill sets that we can teach these kids. But are we doing them in a way where they get to teach themselves? They are learning through opportunity and through experience. We talk about mirroring all the time. When I think about mirroring in here, I'm not necessarily demonstrating all the time. A lot of times I'll have another athlete demonstrate for me. My technique is not always spot on, I'll be honest with you. I also think about mirroring more in terms of my own behavior, my temperament that day, because I know whatever class I have out on the turf, they're going to mirror my temperament, my behavior, and my attitude for the day. So those are the types of things I'm trying to mirror. I'm just trying to create an atmosphere, again, where these kids, whether they're 6 or 18 years old, are constantly learning how to move better because they're feeling what is correct versus incorrect. And the only way to do that, in my opinion, is through a little bit of repetition and a lot of variety, a ton of variety. So I hope I didn't go too far off base here, but just my experience over the last 17 years, certainly my education, somewhat in college, but most definitely through the International Youth Conditioning Association, the IYCA, teaches me that we really need to make sure we're setting our kids up for success by not over-coaching, but giving them the proper cueing to allow them to teach themselves by what feels right. And I'll tell you, a kid will look at you right away when they know that it's clicked with their bodies, and you can see that their movement pattern is spot on. You don't even have to say anything. The converse, a lot of times, is true. One of these guys or girls will look up at me and they'll know, man, that was not a good landing, or that was not a good deceleration or change of direction. My acceleration wasn't great because it didn't feel right. I'll say, yeah, what do you feel like you could change there? What would be a little better? Simple cueing after that. It doesn't have to be super technical, because I'll tell you what, the human body is an amazing, amazing, amazing machine. It will continually adapt depending on the stimulus you give to it. So if we give it the right stimulus, it goes back to that atmosphere and opportunity that I'm talking about, it will learn, the body will become a much better mover. I believe that's what's at the core and the foundation of an athlete. Beyond that, we could definitely talk about the humanistic side of things. I think that's a video for another time. I hope this more directly answered your question, and it's shed some light on this issue for anyone else who's watching this video, whether it be a parent, a fitness trainer, a strength coach, whoever. So this is Dave Gleason again, just a little bit of insight on what the core foundation of a young athlete is in terms of their youth fitness and athletic development. I hope that you'll continue watching the videos on my YouTube channel. I hope that you'll continue to go to the iyca.org website and check out what they have to offer. Again, thanks so much, and we'll be back with you again very, very soon. Thanks.